Welcome to the Recruiting Hour. I almost said welcome back in, but we haven't even started yet. Mike Sauter's reaching for his microphone. He wants to talk already. We're less than 20 seconds into the show. He's ready to go.
I didn't necessarily want to talk, but I wasn't paying attention to where I needed this in front of me. So yeah, I'm good. This is not Connor Happer today. I'm sorry to disappoint everyone.
I think everyone knows at this point Connor Happer's on a vacation.
Another one, like his 72nd vacation of the year.
Oh man, I think it's like his third.
More than me.
Well, I mean, you're notorious for not taking vacation.
I don't like vacation. I do like vacation.
You work during your vacation?
I probably will this weekend.
I was gonna say, like, it's not even vacation, right? Like, you're not taking necessarily time off.
When I say take time off, I mean, like, if I say, hey, I'm going to take the morning off or the afternoon off, or I'm going to take the night off. I mean, like chunks, the 3 chunks of the day. I don't necessarily mean the whole day.
Yeah.
So I'll probably take like the days off if I can, unless something like pops up that I need to, jump on. But normally it's, I'll take the day off, meaning like the daytimes. And then at night, like after my kids go to sleep, I'll work.
Because again, you're incapable of like
not.
What do you think the longest period of not working that you've had since starting with, you were at the World Herald, or even before then?
Yeah.
With your own site. Did you think you ever got to 72 hours?
It's close, maybe. Not.
Because even when
I'm thinking like when I got married, we, that day, obviously. And then.
Oh, wow. You give him the whole wedding day. Wow.
And then like we just took a couple days after that. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably, but that was kind of right at the start. So I don't know if it's been a while. How about that?
It has been a while for Mike Sauter,
really. Yeah. Like normally.
What about for your kids? Like at some point, do you have to pack them up in a car and drive them around so they get the vacation experience?
We will vacation this weekend, which I will leave my family on vacation in order to come
because
back
there's a basketball tournament.
Yes. So we're leaving Thursday late morning, I think, and I'll work a little bit Thursday morning, and then I will come back Saturday night or early Sunday for basketball, and my family will come back on Monday or Tuesday.
So your vacation is actually not from work; it's from your family. Those are my words. Those are my words. They aren't yours.
That's not true. I'm vacationing to come back. Oh, yeah. I'll have. So the 4th of July, I'll just probably invite myself to someone's house because I'm not used to not being around my family on the 4th of July. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you'll have to work on 4th of July.
Looks like it.
Yeah,
it looks like
recruiting.
Not thrilled.
What have we've discussed this? I think
we've never discussed it, but why in our heads we probably discussed it.
Why is it always holidays?
I don't know. I don't.
It always is. It's always
4th
a holiday.
of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas,
Christmas Eve,
New Year's.
I will.
New Year's I'd be fine with. Like you want to commit at 10 a.m. on New Year's? I'm all in. Go for it.
New Year's Eve, weird.
That would be really weird.
I will never forget Austin Jablonski committing to walk on at Nebraska at like 7:45 on Christmas Eve. Like he announced it, and I'm like with 40 family members, extended family stuff on Christmas Eve. And I'm writing the story from my phone after texting him and stuff, just like, I got to do this. I got to jump on this. And my wife was so mad that I had to work. And I'm like, I don't control the timeline here, folks.
One of Michael Bruns's favorite random stories to tell is that Nebraska had this linebacker they got a commitment from. He was on the team for a little while. He never played here. He ended up transferring. His name's Andrew Ward.
Yeah.
He committed on Christmas Day. And prior to that, Andrew Ward would not pick up the phone if your house was on fire and he was the person you needed to, like, he just was never, ever doing an interview.
Right.
And then on Christmas Day, when he commits, which wasn't planned, he just announced it. Like, that's just when he chose to announce it. Bruns called him and he picked up on the first ring and he acted like he had talked. Like, it was bizarre. It was absolutely bizarre.
Like, how do you, what makes a kid like, is it because I was talking with my wife about this last night. We were talking about committing on, holiday weekends and stuff. And we were talking about, she goes, why do kids do? I don't know. She goes, maybe it's because they're like around their family or something.
Yeah, I could see that aspect of it, for sure.
Or they're getting a lot of attention, or
I always feel like the smartest, like you want to control, like you want the attention on you, you do it on like a Tuesday morning at 10 a.m.
Right.
Because then you sort of run an entire cycle.
Yeah.
Instead of like if you shove it on Friday night to be on local TV, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it by Saturday morning.
Right.
If you commit on Saturday during the day, it's largely dead.
Right. Like at 1 o'clock on a Saturday or something. Sunday
night might actually be like the best sort of time if you're going to do a weekend, but it is a scenario. We have people in here coaching Mike Sauter on where to put his microphone.
I apologize. Rico, I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm just saying that, if the goal is to get the most attention on you, you do it at like a Sunday night or a Monday or Tuesday morning.
Right.
The further you get into the week, the worse. And then if there's a holiday, like you just would want to avoid it. Now, this is selfish because I don't want to have to work during that period of time. But Nebraska, if they get James Mons, and this is a reason that this has come up, James Mons III is set to announce his decision on July 4th. This would be the fourth commitment that I know of, and there might be more on July 4.
Really?
Since I've started doing this.
Fireworks.
Yeah. The first was Freedom Akamaladen.
Uh-huh.
The second was Monte.
Worked out well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has a name in which I understand committing on July 4th.
Yeah.
That's true. The second was Monte Harrison, who, it worked out quite well for Monte Harrison.
Eventually. Yeah.
The third was last year can't think of his first name, but Latrell Neville, the wide receiver. And then if they get James Mons the third, which is not a guarantee by any means. I mean, Indiana is pushing really hard. The latest information I have on that is it feels very much like it's down to Nebraska and Indiana. And Indiana with the McCulloughs from the Kansas City, Kansas area, and then the Mullins, who are defensive backs from Florida that are up there. There's a lot of pull that he has to Indiana, but of course, like he has the family connection to Nebraska. And Nebraska's recruited him, I think, the hardest out of all of these schools.
Seems like his visit went really well.
His visit went really well, but his visit went really well at Madison and went really well at Bloomington.
It's hard to not go. You ever talk to a kid that said they haven't had a good, that official visit, that sucked? No, you don't.
There was a couple of times where it didn't go well, but because the kid did something dumb and therefore like the staff more or less was like, we're done here. Yeah. So if you want to hang at the hotel, we'll get you a ride to the airport, but we're done.
Yeah.
So there's been some of those instances, which even then when the kid talks in the story on the record, everything went great because it's not like he wants it to come out.
No, you're never going to say no kid's ever going to say
he got kicked out on his official visit.
Right.
Another one. And I have to speak in overtones because I don't want to implicate the actual kid, but this was with Mike Riley's staff. They got so fed up with the parent, they decided to just remove the kid from the board entirely.
Oh, wow.
So, just a word to the wise. Like if you're going to be an overbearing parent, tone it down on the official visit.
Sometimes parents don't understand that.
They don't. Yeah. Well, and
I
think
they're also recruiting you.
There's a fine line between championing your kid and being obnoxious.
Right.
And it's, when you're with the coaching staff, like you kind of got to let them sort of run things. Like it's they're running the official visit, not you.
Especially when you're on an official visit.
Well, and it's usually, in some of these instances, you're in a group. Like you're not the only family there. And so, I think that was their first December that they were here. There was a kid that came up and they just had enough of his mom. We heard after the fact, like, you don't even need to reach out to him. We're done.
Don't call him.
We don't. Actually, they're like, if you do reach out to him, just apologize because that's who he lives with. It was that bad.
There's being around AAU basketball, there's some parents where you're just like, yeah, that's probably not okay. What, how you act, yelling, stuff like that.
Do you hear more from basketball parents or football parents?
Basketball parents.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I did just get a football parent send me something from another outlet, and I'm like, I'm not, like, do you understand? I'm not gonna share that.
Yeah.
Happens a lot. Just like I have a rule,
not
like
me, but...
no. If it was you, it's fine. I like you.
No. But I mean, like, I've never actually had a parent be like, please share this about my son.
It was like after a couple of Instagram messages that I sort of ignored too. Like, I'm not gonna share your huddle highlight either, because if I do one, that opens up a huge door for everyone else.
I will do it not at a request, but if like I watch,
if you're doing it, yes.
If like I'm already watching tape of someone and there's a play that I really like, or there's something that really stands out,
right,
I will like throw that on Twitter with the sort of time attack, like go to the 112 mark, watch this kid's touchdown. Like that's what I would do. Right. But again, I've never really had either parents or kids solicit me to like retweet their huddle, but it's because they just jump into your mentions on a seemingly very different tweet, and it's just like how often you get referred to as coach, by the way?
A lot.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, I've never been coached.
I've never coached anything in my life.
Coach
my fantasy baseball team, maybe.
Yeah,
but I'm a manager for that.
I don't want to be a coach.
Yeah,
but I like this one is like, please put kid on your radar. He's in this grade and attends this school and also plays for this AAU and shooter, great defender and tireless work ethic to get better every day on the court and in the classroom. And it's like, that's your kid. You're saying that about like, thanks.
Yeah. Well, he's on your radar now.
Well, I mean, sure. I guess I'm like, that type of stuff. It just says like there's ways of doing it that make it a little bit better or sound better. And it's like, hey, like if I let's say I have kids, so if it was me DMing you about my child, I'd be like, hey Mike, just wanted to throw this out there. If you have some time, check this out.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah.
Not something similar in that vein where it's real casual versus like breaking it down for me. I'm like, I don't need that. That's too much.
I'm just gonna
slow down, Dad.
I'm gonna start sending you random DMs
from your burner.
Hey, check out this kid in a local middle school. He's got
from your burner Twitter account.
I don't have any burner Twitter accounts.
People ask me that. I was like, is that your burner? I'm like, I don't have time for a burner Twitter. Yeah. I could care less about that.
I'm in charge of 3. I have access to 4 accounts. Mine, a Husker 24/7 account,
right?
The Recruiting Hour account that I need to use better.
Don't use ever.
Occasionally. I don't do a very good job with it.
Yeah.
And then the Shaver Family Christmas account.
Oh,
that one's the closest to being a burner.
That comes out every year, just once.
Yeah, basically.
Like one day a year.
It may make an appearance during whenever
tweets?
there's a gathering of my family, which is generally what lends to the whole thing.
Right.
Like we did it the day that we were at the zoo. My dad was in pretty rare form. I ran into you.
Yeah.
I was tweeting him from that too, even though it wasn't Christmas, because usually it's whenever there's like things I can
multiple family members,
right,
and some craziness is happening.
Right. And we're at the point where his health isn't the best, and so he's sort of lacks all tact, and so a lot of what he says anymore just can't be on Twitter. It doesn't mean that it isn't funny, but it's just like, it's not worth
you could just like exit out.
Yeah, it's just not worth someone potentially being offended over it for like a joke account.
Yeah, that's probably not.
So
it's probably not the best idea.
So it goes.
So other than Mons, like who else is, what are we keeping an eye on here? Husker fans?
Well, thank you for setting me up like that. Look at you. Just
I know how to ask questions.
Do you? The person that sat in your chair yesterday said the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's that?
It was Nicole Griffith from 10,
She can
11.
ask questions. She's fun.
Yep.
It's funny.
We had a good time yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but no, to answer your question, right now Mons is the only one with an actual commitment date, but I would keep an eye on a couple offensive linemen, Jake Makuya from Colorado, and then
he just came yesterday.
No, he was here last week during the middle of the week. He came in Monday through Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then another offensive lineman, Valen Erickson from Chicago, was here the first weekend. I don't know why he hasn't committed yet. The only assumption I have at this point is that Nebraska wants to wait and see what happens with Makuya before they decide if they want Erickson or if they want to chase a different offensive lineman. So that one, that's really basically it. And then if you want to draw some lines, if they don't get Mons, maybe that opens the door for someone like Avery Powell, another similar sized defensive back. So we're kind of in the point where you sort of read the board a little bit. And it's like, if you miss here, what is the next best option sort of thing. And so I don't anticipate, or I don't have firsthand knowledge that there's a decision coming necessarily, but we're sort of in that time period where they could get 5 commits in 10 days and it wouldn't be a shock to me because you've had 20 kids come in and visit. You have sort of laid out like, here's where your board's at. Here's who we're interested in. Anybody that was on the top of the board, they basically tried their hardest to get in June,
right?
Because you're just going to see a lot of commits nationally during this next run. And so I anticipate Nebraska will add some people. It's just a matter of when those kids choose to make that public.
Let's just say this: the dead period will not be dead.
No. There won't be visits, but it will be very busy with activity. And then the fallout of all of this is like once the board shifts for the first time, and because there really hasn't been a major run of commitments nationally, a lot of boards haven't shifted yet. All of a sudden you see the next wave of offers, and then new targets pop up, and that's just sort of the tilling of the soil, if you will.
That's how it happens every year.
Right. And so it normally happens before this. It's normally during the evaluation period because you would have had a run of commits. And then you would hit the evaluation period. You have a new run of offers. Then you hit the summer period, have a run of commits, new run of offers. And then you get into the fall where everything slows down.
Yeah. So, just kind of pumps the brakes.
Yeah.
Except for lower level people.
It's kind of the run. All right. We don't want to forget about the opening splash, which is brought to you by our friends at the Pawnee Plunge, the best water park in the country. Mike still hasn't taken his kids there.
I haven't been there. It's in Columbus.
Yeah. I don't want to reveal too much, but I think we're getting closer to the potential of a live show at the Pawnee Plunge this summer.
Can I come?
Yes. Nicole said the exact same thing. Yeah. So, I mean, you guys are like in lockstep.
She called me Snow Ninja once.
Why?
Because I was dressed like a snow ninja.
I don't even know what that means.
It was really, really cold.
I mean, it could have been a reference to cocaine.
It was the Waverly Norris game this fall. It was freezing.
I've heard a lot.
Wind was blowing out of, I think, the north. And I had on like snow pants, like multiple, layers of stuff. And I have a like ski mask thing that just goes over my nose and like you wrap around your head and it connects Velcro in the back of your head. And I had on like a knit, I call it knit hat. Some people call it toboggan. Some people call it other things. But I had on a knit hat and like you could barely see my eyes and glasses. And that was all you could see. And everything else was black. And I had my hood up and like on my coat. So she called me Snow Ninja. Nice. I think it's also because I like walked up kind of around her by her and scared her a little
Sidled?
bit. Yeah.
Nice.
She's like, you look like a snow ninja. I'm like, okay.
It could be your new alias.
I have never done karate or taekwondo or anything like that. So I don't know. And I'm not a very good leaper. So I don't know.
Really?
Jump like through buildings and around on top of buildings and be a ninja.
Very disappointed.
And like stick my legs on top of windows and stuff. I like climbing trees and things. I'm not scared of that, but like actually doing it like a Spider-Man version is what would think with swords. That'd be a little hard. But I think a snow ninja would just have snowballs, right?
Yeah, like the stars.
Yeah,
Snow stars. Snowflakes.
I can't even take myself seriously.
Yeah,
but anyway, no, yeah. If we do that, I would more than be willing to potentially, I guess, drive to Columbus.
Yeah. Well, we will
on like a Tuesday.
We can discuss this.
Take my 4-year-old.
Yeah, bring the kids. They'll be excited.
The other one would not.
No,
she's 2.
She can still float.
Not really. She doesn't necessarily want to get in the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's some kids are that way.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Right. All right. So for the opening splash, Nebraska picked up a commitment from Gunnar Gatula over the weekend. Not a surprise. I mean, I think that once that offer came in at the beginning of June, it was just sort of a matter of time as to when he was going to get back to campus and commit. Gunnar Gatula, you actually pointed out to me when we were at the Warren Academy showcase last summer. And immediately I was like, okay, this kid has great size. And then he was going through the drills and everything and looked pretty good. And what I think is a really tough environment to grade an offensive lineman anyways. But he was on my radar immediately from that point. And then you get to last year with the Elkhorn South game, and he was one of the best linemen in the game that also featured, Isaac and Teddy and Maverick Noonan and all of these guys from Lincoln Southeast. And he was a standout for me. Gunnar Gatula is pretty good for where he's already at going into his junior year.
Right. I just actually saw him play basketball this morning, and it reminded me of DJ Foster playing basketball.
That's not a compliment.
No, it is. Yeah, it kind of is.
Is it?
Yeah. So the jersey just like swallows him.
Yeah. Okay.
And like they're just big dudes with like nimble feet, like, just getting rebounds and running up and down. It's actually pretty kind of fun.
I remember, I think DJ was still playing JV when I went to go watch Luke Gifford play with Southeast one time. And just like watching him go up and down the court, and it was kind of like you could just run this like modified play where you sort of pitch him the ball where he gets a full steam, catch a couple dribbles, just barrel through the lane.
It's like
put
Hercules running down the court. Is awesome. Him at Luke Gifford and him their senior year, they played together junior year maybe. And I remember I went to Southwest. First time I seen him play basketball, I was like, these dudes are huge for like, basketball guys in a basketball jersey. It looked fun.
Gifford,
I'm not going to say funny, fun.
Gifford was a fun basketball player because he was just a really good athlete. I watched him just get a steal at the top of the key, throw down a dunk that he didn't even know that he could do.
Right.
Like he's like, I just jumped and all of a sudden I was at the rim, and it's like, well, what else do you do?
Gunnar, I saw him this morning and playing basketball and looked good. He'll play a lot. And then I actually talked to him last night on my Instagram live stuff. So he said he basically knew he was going to go to Nebraska his whole life. So, like if the opportunity came, I mean, he did get an offer from Iowa and K-State and Iowa State and stuff like that. I think he checked them out, but once he unofficially visited on Friday, it was basically over.
Yeah.
Like that just makes sense.
Absolutely. All right. We will be back with a little bit more. Mike Schaefer, Mike Sauter here on the Recruiting Hour.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
You're listening to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
Wouldn't it be great if you could shop for a new floor at home where you can clearly see the best choice? At O Street Carpet, we'll bring our store to your home. Hi, Steve Carper here. Tell us what kind of floor you're thinking about. We'll bring the sample so you can pick and choose with confidence. We'll even measure free while we're there. To shop at home, just call us or stop in at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street or in your home.
Time to replace your heating and air system? Get local utility rebates and big cash discounts from Bryant. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. We do whatever it takes.
Summertime is here and the temperature is rising. Beat the heat at the Pawnee Plunge Water Park in Columbus all summer long. Pawnee Plunge features a full day of fun for the whole family, including the Flow Ride, the only one in Nebraska, a large swimming pool, diving boards, a lazy river, climbing wall, and of course, massive water slides. It's a great place for parties or a great spot to lounge around all day long. Book your party by calling 402-562-4269. Come splash and play the Pawnee Plunge Way in Columbus from May 31st through August 8th.
Baseball's back, Lincoln, and that means Fireworks Fridays are too. Come out to Haymarket Park for Friday home games to celebrate the Lincoln Salt Dogs' 20th season with baseball, giveaways, and of course, post-game fireworks. We're glad to have you back in the stands. Watch us light up the sky for our celebration season. Get your tickets to the best night out in Lincoln at saltdogs.com.
If you're feeling past your prime with low libido, fatigue, or weight gain, you might be experiencing low T. At Vitalize Health, they can help treat low T and get you back on track. Rami and Jackie have focused their careers on whole body wellness and can help with everything from testosterone replacement to Botox to help the outside match the inside and regain your youthful appearance. Vitalize Health does accept insurance. Call them today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Your home isn't going to fix itself, and you're busy enough as it is. So let Cornhusker Construction put the work in to upgrade your house. They do everything interior and exterior, including full remodel jobs. Are your kitchen and bathrooms outdated? Cornhusker Construction can help with that, with new flooring, painting, drywall, and anything else. Take advantage of their summer sale with 4% off for the rest of the summer. Call in today at 308-708-0709. Cornhusker Construction.
Back to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer. Presented by Bubbles and Blocks. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Recruiting Hour. Mike Schaefer alongside Mike Sauter sitting in for Connor Happer, who I believe is attending a Royals-Red Sox game at Fenway tonight.
Oh, really?
So I know he's pretty excited about that. We'll see how that goes. Pretty sure the Red Sox beat the Royals yesterday, and for his sake, hopefully he gets to see the Royals win while he's out there. All right, so now we are going to throw things open. Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. You have preps questions, you have recruiting questions. Hit up the show. Once again, Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. We had a question from Mike yesterday. He had called in and then he tweeted and let me know what that question was. We'll get to that in a second. I want to start though with a question I have for Mike Sauter, and that is what is going on with Isaac Trout after we're close to the end of the month of June. And then I don't know, basketball doesn't have the same dead period, does it?
No, because there's about 2 weeks here.
Yeah.
And then live periods are, AAU basketball tournament stuff. So the live periods start not this weekend, but the following weekend for boys. Girls,
the 10th,
yeah,
11th.
Yeah, girls, it starts on the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird. Girls is like in the middle of the week. But so the live periods are 3 days at 3-4 day chunks at a time on the weekends, evaluation periods.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of contact period. All that is basically open for the month of July. As far as Isaac Trout goes, he is officially visiting North Carolina like today or whatever. So that ends his visit run of planned visits for the month. He went.
He's busy this month.
I'm going to go in reverse.
Yep.
So North Carolina, Michigan State, Virginia, North Carolina, Michigan State, Virginia, Nebraska, and then the unofficial / official one day at Creighton on June 1st, the first day. So those 5 are the visits he had during this month. As far as feedback that I've gotten from Virginia, he really enjoyed. Michigan State, he really, really enjoyed. I know just talking with his parents, they really, really liked Michigan State. And Nebraska, we talked about on the show, I think even too, like after that visit at Nebraska, that they moved up his list for sure. For sure moved up. So haven't talked to him yet about obviously North Carolina, but I would imagine that's hard to gonna enjoy that. So he's gonna take his time. I don't think he's gonna commit really anytime soon. And a kid like him doesn't really need to,
right?
Because not like anyone's gonna go away, like say pressure him. They're always gonna pressure him to commit, but I don't think it's gonna be anything like that. Oklahoma is another one that I keep throwing out Oklahoma with him. Oklahoma is very much so in the mix for him. And I think it's down to probably those schools. Now, Gonzaga and Duke are 2 schools that have contacted and calling and,
but they haven't
offered yet.
But if they did, it changes.
If they offer, it definitely changes the conversation. But
that's pretty wild that they're on a tier that's higher than like North Carolina doesn't necessarily change the conversation at the moment.
Gonzaga does, but Carolina doesn't.
But just like thinking about growing up and when I was a kid, like North Carolina basketball was the biggest thing
for sure.
And for me, that would have been like the Vince Carter, Antoine Jameson, like that run of things. But even for people before me, I mean, it was still really big. And obviously Duke has been big kind of throughout that run.
I think Duke right now, you look at just the NBA, like they're producing dudes win or lose or winning or losing a national championship, whatever, doesn't matter. They're getting kids to the league.
Yeah.
And Gonzaga's doing the same right now. So I think that and a little higher pace than North Carolina is.
Would the potential, like the change of Mike Krzyzewski with Duke, would that hurt?
Shire's the one that's recruiting everyone really.
Right.
Anyway,
so you don't think that would?
No, I don't think that changes much. I really don't. I mean, Shire's been there forever and played there, obviously, all that. So I don't think that changes a whole lot because he's the lead recruit. They just basically bring Krzyzewski in to be the closer. So, and unlike, Carolina just being close to the Hunter Salas situation, I mean, Roy Williams called a lot and was like very much so in it. So,
because now North Carolina's Hubert Davis.
Yeah.
It's weird having to like
think about that.
Yeah, because you normally never had to think of who the head coach was at North Carolina.
Right.
Even really pre Roy Williams, like there was a couple years stretch there with Matt Doherty, but for the most part, it's like been a name brand dude.
Right.
And not that Hubert Davis can't be that, but
I think he'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
I think they'll be good eventually. I mean, it's Carolina. I mean, you just walk in there, you're like, wow, this is cool.
I've never walked in there.
I haven't either, but I'm just imagining if I was a 17-year-old kid and walking in there and a basketball player and be like, wow. And then, if it's someone they want bad enough, maybe they just call up Michael MJ and just be like, hey, can you swing over real quick? Shake some hands. That would be cool.
Have we ever asked you where you would take your official visits?
I think so. I've said this before. If I could choose anywhere to take an official visit
as a basketball player, as a football player, how much does it change?
Doesn't matter. It changes
as a cross country runner.
No, it really doesn't change that much. being a male.
Oh yeah, because here's coming Arizona State.
Yep.
Ole Miss probably.
Yep. Miami.
Miami.
I was gonna say Ole Miss number 1.
Just throw in Georgia and
Ole
then
Miss,
pick some random academic institution.
Ole
to make your
Ole
parents
Miss
proud.
is probably number 1 for me.
Okay.
If I'm a football player for sure.
You ever been to Mississippi?
One time, not there, like northern Mississippi, very briefly.
Just you popped in and knew enough to get out.
I was in Memphis for something in college, and then we went to Mississippi because there was casinos and stuff over there. So yeah, but I haven't like been to Mississippi. No,
Gotcha.
But I would definitely. I think Ole Miss just looks fun. I've been to Tempe. I would take an official visit to Tempe.
Yep.
And I would take an official visit to Miami because it's Miami.
You still get 2 more.
For some reason, I think Austin would be fun. I don't know why. I just think it would be.
You've been there though, right?
Austin, no. I've been across Texas. I've been to Padre and all over West Texas for sure. I've been
Nebraska fans aren't going to love this, but Austin is a
really
fun.
Cool
The setup of where that campus is, and then in relation to its downtown, and then how much it feeds off of that, it would be an awesome college experience.
Lived in Columbus, Ohio before, so like it's what it is. I had 2 more, probably USC.
You have 1 more. 5 or how many do
5?
5, yeah.
USC or UCLA, something like that would be because for the same reasons as
just not getting north of I don't know what the latitude
LSU. I think would be fun. Yeah. Bama because it's Alabama and football.
Georgia's good. I've been to Athens. Georgia's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
I've never been to Athens, but I've been to obviously Atlanta and that. But those would be for not football reasons.
I don't know what other reasons you'd be talking about.
Not football reasons.
If you have questions for Mike Sauter, Sarter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. We're going to get to Mike's question from yesterday. He basically asked, given the lack of what we've seen out of Omaha in this cycle for Nebraska, does that mean guys like Daniel Kaelin and Davon Hall would continue that trend? I feel like this is pretty simple. To me, the answer is no. I feel like this, as much as we've sort of talked about it, this feels more like a one-off in just the sheer volume of kids that have just outright rejected or moved on from Nebraska. I mean, you're looking at 2023 where you already have Gatula and Bramer. You're more than likely going to get Maverick Noonan.
Yeah, those are the 3 best players right in the class. I think that's pretty fair to say right now.
And then you have a very strong chance at Tuioti, assuming that there's
he's
success coming as well.
That's
there
4
too,
big time,
right? And so and you can argue, okay, well, none of those are Metro. All right, well, so if you get to 2024, you have Daniel Kaelin, you have Davon Hall. Kaelin's situation is different because quarterback recruiting is different.
Yeah.
But you have said this multiple times. I have parroted it, and I talked to him about it. Davon Hall grew up loving Nebraska.
Yes.
I don't think this recruitment, like it hasn't resulted in a commitment yet, but it to me feels like it's Davon Hall, Nebraska commit at some point, possibly by the end of the calendar year.
I think, but before it's said and done, he ends up at Nebraska.
Yeah.
If Nebraska still, wants him, which I don't really think there's a reason why they wouldn't.
I mean, they have him catching passes from Raiola.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. Davon Hall he did just get Kansas State offer, Monday, Tuesday, or Sunday, whatever, a couple days ago. And it's, Iowa offered.
Surprised Iowa State has not offered yet.
Yeah, not yet. But
they're a fascinating team to me.
He grew up a big Nebraska fan.
I don't know.
That's just what it. Yeah, I would be shocked if he doesn't end up there.
Are you? So I'm transitioning here. Iowa State. I'm always surprised by how little they come into Nebraska. Given that one, they're very successful right now.
Yeah.
And then 2, like they offered Gunnar Gatula, but I don't think they've offered Maverick Noonan.
No.
They haven't offered Davon Hall. and yet they've offered other guys at Bellevue West. It's just their system is more unique to me, in that, like, I really do think they do a far more deep dive individually than
I think so. That's fair.
A school comparatively, Iowa. If there's a kid at Bell West that they like, they offer him, and I don't think that it's like a huge thought process that goes behind it, because they now have Keegan Johnson.
He's going to be a star for them.
They might end up with Riley Ducker. So, they have a good relationship with that school and with Coach Huffman. So it's just one of those things where it's like Iowa State has gone after Caden Helms and gone after Riley Ducker and gone after. I'm pretty sure they offered Keegan Johnson.
Maybe they feel a little burnt by
it. Could be. It definitely could be, but it's just burnt or not. Talent's talent. Like,
that's why something I don't understand is if you feel some certain way about a school, then you're just going to quit recruiting that school. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like, why would you ever limit
you
yourself?
Can't turn yourself off to any avenue of talent.
Right.
In the recruiting world.
I would never do that. Now on the K-line thing with Nebraska, that's pretty interesting. Like, it's very interesting. I mean, Nebraska offers as a reactionary offer from Florida State without really seeing him throw, and then he doesn't throw at Friday Night Lights when Raiola does, and it's like, okay, what are we doing? And then,
do you think he regrets doing that?
I would, if I was him right now. I would. So that one's a little more interesting, I think. Yeah. But I will say this: Daniel Kaelin and Davon Hall are really good friends. Grew up really like playing together, all that stuff. They both went to Bellevue West and don't really live in Bellevue. So it's they're friend, like they might be tied together a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, I think they'll both end up making their own decisions. It just, I don't think they're, shunning Nebraska at all. Yeah. I don't think that's the case. No, now, the 4 in the 2022 class, I don't know where it went wrong, but there's something that happened or didn't happen or something people didn't like, where you have 4 kids that are getting recruited by everybody else, basically everybody else in the country, and like they didn't pick you. And now Devin Jackson is one where people think he's not from here. He's not from Nebraska at all. He's not from Omaha. Like he just came, like he didn't grow up here, none of that. So he has no emotional. I think
Helms and Woods are the bigger losses out of that group.
Right. I would say that. And, Woods just doesn't want to be here anymore. He just doesn't want to. And some kids, and I say this in basketball all the time, some kids, it's probably best for them to get a little farther away from, influences or things like that. I'm not saying him, I'm just in general. So maybe that's, a positive for him. And if you care about kids and what's best for kids, then you should probably, not be as hurt about it. The Helms and Riley Ducker one is a little more interesting. The Helms one, I think they would have liked to kind of be in the mix there for that one.
Absolutely.
Riley Ducker might be, and I don't know this at all. I haven't talked to him about it, and frankly, I don't care. I'm just coming up with kind of reasons that I think make sense for him to leave Nebraska off. I think it's probably maybe has something to do with his brothers. I don't know that for sure. I've never asked, and frankly, I don't really care. But
I think he's a better fit elsewhere too.
Right.
I mean, if we're talking as him as a tight end, I just don't think that he's as much of a fit for what Nebraska's doing. Whereas I think Helms is a very strong fit. Like that one hurts. And like I said, Woods, I think hurts because you're in a cycle where what you're looking for first and foremost is an interior offensive lineman.
And that's exactly what he is.
And he's someone that would have been open to playing center.
Center guard.
Right. But doesn't always work out. And I just, like I said, I think it's important to sort of view it more as a blip than as this is the start of a massive downturn.
No, yeah, for sure.
So, all right, we're going to take a break. Sure. We'll come back. We will get to those Sutter Heyman text line questions. Keep sending them in, 402-464-5785. 5685.
You're listening to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you live in an older home, your little one might be at risk of being exposed to lead. Lead is toxic metal, and lead-based paint is still found in many older homes across Nebraska. Lead poisoning can impact a child's growth and development for their entire lifetime. Talk to your child's doctor about lead testing. A simple blood test can detect lead poisoning in your child. Get the facts about lead by visiting leadsafe.ne.gov.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and there has never been a better time to trade in your car, truck, or van, and Koppel wants to be the place to do it. We have sold and serviced vehicles here in Louisville for over 45 years, and to show our appreciation, Bob would like to invite you down to the dealership to get a multi-point inspection, oil change, alignment check, and Kelly Blue Book evaluation for your vehicle at no charge. Yes, you heard right, no charge. This is a limited time offer. Go online at koppelcars.com, schedule your visit. You must have an online appointment to qualify. Offer ends June 30th.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
There are fans, and then there's you. You live it. You breathe it. You want to soak it all in. Most sports talk shows are fine, but you find yourself craving more. You need the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer. Each day, we break down what's happening on the recruiting trail and on campus, bringing you guests from all corners of the college football world. The Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer. Weekdays at 2 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One unforgettable event. One chance to get up close and personal with some of the greatest names in golf. One opportunity to create memories that will last a lifetime. Get your tickets now for the U.S. Senior Open, coming to Omaha July 5th through the 11th at the Omaha Country Club. If you're looking for family fun for all ages, this is one championship you don't want to miss. For tickets, visit ussenioropen.com.
Shopping for new flooring? Come see the new Hot and Heavy at O Street Carpet. Hi, Steve Carper here. Hot and Heavy is a fabulous new flooring product. Loose lay planks or tiles with non-skid backing that look great and stay in place. Super easy to install, easy to maintain, about half the price of alternative flooring. Hot and Heavy, beautiful, durable, inexpensive. Install yourself in stock at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
At Gaina Trucking, you can make a better income, a better career, and a better life. Gaina Trucking and Excavating is now hiring Class A and B CDL drivers. Careers include amazing benefits with a 401k, healthcare, paid vacations, annual raises, and so much more. 40-hour work weeks guaranteed year-round. To be a part of this amazing career opportunity, apply online at GainaTrucking.com. Don't miss our team culture, benefits, and a career that will give you a better life. Be better at Gaina Trucking and Excavating.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Summertime is here and the temperature is rising. Beat the heat at the Pawnee Plunge Water Park in Columbus all summer long. Pawnee Plunge features a full day of fun for the whole family, including the Flow Ride, the only one in Nebraska, a large swimming pool, diving boards, a lazy river, climbing wall, and of course, massive water slides. It's a great place for parties or a great spot to lounge around all day long. Book your party by calling 402-562-4269. Come splash and play the Pawnee Plunge Way in Columbus from May 31st through August 8th.
Back to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer, presented by Bubbles and Blocks on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back one final time here on the Recruiting Hour. Mike Schaefer, Mike Sauter. We got Emmett running the boards. You're about to hear his voice when he talks to us about what's on the text line. Speaking of which, Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685, taking your questions as you have them. What's going on? What do we got, Emmett?
Okay, so first off, we got from a texter, do you have any concerns about Nebraska football recruiting ranking being so low? We're normally in the top 20 every year, and this year we're in the 40s.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously early. They aren't going to finish in the 40s, but I will say that I'm not anticipating a top 20 class without Nebraska finding their way into more 4-star level commitments. I mean, just too many of the guys that they're looking at are likely 3-star players. It's going to be a smaller class. You're going to be a little bit at the whims of what other people's numbers are. Some schools that maybe didn't have as many kids stick around or aren't anticipating as many kids sticking around could take a class of 20 to 25, and that could just jump you because if Nebraska takes 16, the math tells us that, they're going to be lower because of it. It's just, like I said, they don't have a lot of star-studded players on their board in the same way that we've seen in previous years. Like there's not a Wan'Dale Robinson or a Turner Corcoran or even a Xavier Betts or Nick Henrich. I mean, there's just not that caliber kid right now, and that could change. And they could appear, and get involved with some more 4-star kids. But right now, the biggest or the highest ranked kid they've had visit, Markeith Williams, just took a visit to Ohio State. Miami's in the picture. He's from Orlando. And he likes Nebraska. I think that they're probably running third behind those other two teams. And beyond that, I mean, that's the one 4-star that you've had visit. And so it basically, you could get a few guys that bump up in their own rankings because of their senior season, but it just doesn't seem very likely that there's going to be a lot of 4-stars in this class. And so that's the reality of the situation that stems heavily from the pandemic, not being able to build relationships with some of these guys, get them to campus earlier, get in on some of your top players based on where they are geographically. And so, they have to fill this class out as they can and then move on with 2023, where you already have two guys that I expect Ben Bramer to be a top 247 guy for 24/7 Sports. I mean, I don't. It's going to be a battle.
Will he do the camps?
Well, that's just
stuff?
it. So I have to sell them on a kid that probably isn't going to do camps
care.
and won't be in person in front of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how easy that's going to be, but it does help when you've had a kid like Thomas Fedoni come through recently, and he did some of the camp stuff, but not a lot of it. And then 24/7 Sports is well aware of Steve Warren and Warren Academy, and they've talked to those guys. They get their input too, and so if Steve Warren's saying the same things to them that he has to Mike and I, Ben Bramer should be a 4-star by the time it's all said and done. And then Gatula, I think, has a chance with his size too, and I think he's someone I could see doing more of the camp circuit stuff. Not necessarily a ton of it, but maybe a couple events here and there. Maverick Noonan could be another guy that could be a 4-star player by the, just here in the state.
And he's
alone.
done some camp stuff.
Yep. And I mean, he's well put together and productive player. And so those are guys that should help with 2023, in addition to Nebraska's chasing Reese Mooney. They're chasing, a bunch of different players. And so I think 2023 will be a better class overall because they'll have more time to have had recruited. What else we got, Emmett? Anything else on the text line?
Are there any 8-man football opportunities that will walk on for Nebraska?
I can give you 3. I think Corey Hollinger from Cross County is one. 6'6", 200.
Yeah, Nebraska had him out for the red-white game, right? Well, they didn't have him out.
And he did an individual workworkout.
Right. And then he did the workout.
And then his teammate Carter Syme is running back / linebacker at Cross County. He's 6'1", 6'2", 185, good athlete, going to put up a lot of numbers. And Palmyra's Andrew Waltke, I think, is a guy that potentially could be a walk-on. The walk-on class can be a lot, I think, smaller.
Give me pretty small
significantly
walk-on
small.
class.
But I think those are a couple of guys that they've, targeted that are 8-man guys. Walkie's 6'5", 200. So pretty athletic looking guy.
They've already made a walk-on offer to
Cooper Hausman.
Yeah.
Norris quarterback Cooper Hausman,
which we I think talked about one of the last times you were
makes
in here.
sense.
Yeah,
they would. There's a lot of reasons I think why.
Because they want another guy named Hausman.
But he's not an 8-man guy,
right? No, right? No, I was just transitioning off the off the walk-on thing. Anything else for us, Emmett?
Are Hall and Kalen receptive to Nebraska early, or
we
are we rolling them out?
discussed that one last segment. We kind of dove into both Davon Hall and
I think
Kalen.
I think they're very receptive. I don't think.
Yeah. What have you made of the NBA finals?
NBA
so far?
finals?
Not finals, but the conference finals.
Well, I would have kind of liked the Suns to
close it out.
Just because I kind of want a new team faces something.
I think they will. I don't think the Clippers are winning games.
And
6 and 7.
I think Devin Booker's really good, and I'm not sure like the casual NBA fan that kind of tunes in occasionally understands just how good he is. So if he's in the finals, then boom, right?
Yeah.
Now I Milwaukee's gonna win because it's basically over, especially if Trae Young is hurt, which kind of stinks. But at the same time, if Giannis is as good as being the 2-time MVP, cool to see him in the finals and get an opportunity. I think Giannis is good. I just struggle watching him play because he just taking the open jump shots that brick really hard. Not fun.
I feel like Milwaukee is a basketball team where I never want to watch the last 4 minutes of their game.
Right. Chris Middleton,
if you get to that point, like they'll do interesting stuff up until then, and then you get to the final 4 minutes of a game, and it's like they just shut down and they go into this bizarre, weird ball. Like it's just a bad basketball.
Stand around and watch.
Yeah.
Budenholzer, like they gotta make. I mean, they're gonna make the finals now because whatever. But there was talk if he didn't, he's out, which is interesting because I mean they've been pretty good. They just haven't gotten over the hump.
Right.
And right now I think the coaching carousel stuff is really kind of, it's all come together. Besides Becky Hammond not getting a job, which she should have a job by now as a head NBA coach. But at the same time, what does, Pop is a little different and in San Antonio, and he can handle some of that heat for her, because I still think there'll be people that won't agree with a woman being an NBA head coach, which I don't know why it matters.
If you're good, you deserve
good.
it on merit. That's all we need to discuss, right? Look,
that's right.
That's everything. So you're talking about Booker.
Yeah.
I think DeAndre Ayton is so much better than I realized that he was.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just because the Arizona, there was all that sticky stuff.
Well,
about his
and
recruitment.
they lost to Buffalo in the first round, and he didn't really play that well, and they weren't that dominant. It felt like in the Pac-12 his 1 year there.
There was
he
some
kind of felt like he
stuff.
had this like sort of attitude, and then you watch him in these NBA playoffs. I've been really impressed.
Ayton,
He had a horrible game last night, but other
That'll
than
be
that,
fine.
yeah,
He'll be fine.
He's been good. Ayton versus Giannis, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a gap.
It's
but-
probably Jay Crowder defending him, though.
Really?
Yeah. Jay Crowder's a mean dude. I was going to say something, but I didn't.
Yeah, you can't say that. All right. Thank you, Mike Sauter. We will be back with more Recruiting Hour tomorrow. The Drive is... Mike Shaver here. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaving changed my life the past few years with their 10-week challenge, and now you can get your life and fitness back on track, too. Build muscle, burn fat, lose weight with the 10-week challenge.